Thanks for joining us for another Kickstarter conniption. Today we're looking at the game Gladius from Cat Quartet Games.
And as always, we want to make sure that you are aware that our Kickstarter conniption videos are always sponsored in part by our Kickstarter backers and by the creators of this game. Hey guys, and thanks for joining us at Tantrum House Studio 3. I'm Will Meadows.
And I'm Sarah Meadows, and today we're looking at Gladius from Cat Quartet Games. This is from designers Alex Uboldi and Victoria Kanya. Art is by Cheryl Young, and graphic design by Valerie Kanya.
It's a 2 to 5 player hand management, betting, bidding game that takes about 30 minutes to play. Cat Quartet sent us a copy to check out, so let's take a look at how it's played.
To set up the game, place 3 podium cards for first, second, and third place. Place the 3 betting cards and then the gladiator and event decks nearby.
Each player chooses a character and receives their character power card, character influence deck, and bet tokens. Players shuffle their deck and draw 5 or 6 cards depending on the player count, and then you're ready to begin.
At the beginning of the round, draw an event card which tells the setup for the gladiators and which skills they will be competing in.
In turn order, players will take their first turn to place a bet token on one gladiator.
Then, on later turns, they may choose to play an influence card from their hand on a gladiator. Some cards allow things like negating a certain skill or offering additional fighting skills.
Players may also choose to discard cards to activate their character power. Once a player has used as many cards as they would like to for the round, they may choose to then place their second and final betting token.
Play continues until all players have bet a second time. Influence cards are revealed and gladiator scores are tallied.
The tokens bet for the first place gladiator move to the first podium, the second place tokens go back to their owners, and the third place tokens stack on the third place podium.
All cards in the arena are discarded and each player now draws 2 cards into their current hand and a new event card is drawn for the next round.
Players continue betting for rounds 2 and 3, and then points are tallied and the player with the most points wins. Gladius is a tight little card game that has some really great bluffing and bidding and misdirecting stuff that can go on. It works really well that you can kind of play as not necessarily teams, but you can definitely team up in the game, which can then allow for some nice backstabbing options, which is always great. We've played it at a couple of different player counts. It definitely plays a little better with the 3, 4, and 5 than it does for the 2. We've also played it with our kids, and they've done really well with it as well. But definitely some strategy and some poker face action as you're laying those cards out on the table.
Yeah, you will follow the text on the cards that you play down on the gladiators. Some of them are immediate play cards where you will immediately do some action like removing a card or even switching cards between gladiators. Those cards are played face up and you'll take that action right away. Most of the other cards though that you'll play from your hand are played face down, so nobody really knows what cards you've played down.
Yeah, and when you place your bet at the beginning of the game, you have different value tokens that you're placing those bets with, and so if you're pretty confident, all right, this guy is the most strong gladiator, everybody's probably gonna buff this guy to make him even stronger, I'm betting that this guy wins and I'm using my 5 token. Then when you come around to later in the game, all right, this guy definitely no one has helped him out, he's only got a value of 2, he's probably gonna lose, I'm gonna play my negative token on him because I want my third place. I want my negative tokens to end up on the third place podium to score me more points at the end. And that seems like the natural way to play the game, but then you can definitely switch things up, which blows people's minds when you play that negative token first and you then play all your bad cards on him and people think you're buffing him and you're really bluffing. Pretty fun stuff.
Yeah, so everyone has a death bet token. They have 2 or 3 bet.
2.
Yeah, 2 death bet tokens. So placing those correctly is important because when those tokens end up on the third podium and you have guessed correctly on those gladiators to lose, you not only get the 2 points for that, but you also receive a point for any other people who have thought that that gladiator is going to win. So there's potential to get a few extra points by correctly guessing the loser in each round as well.
Each of the characters do have their own unique powers that are pretty, they're definitely not overpowered. They're not weak either. You can definitely use them to your advantage, and sometimes that little bit of being able to throw away 2 cards that you didn't want in order to take this extra action that switches the cards and does whatever can be the nail in the coffin. It's a great reveal usually because nobody knows where you're at in the course of the game. Your tokens are face down. Once they are revealed, they get added to the piles, and then at the end of the game is when you total them all up. And so it's got a great play to it where everybody's having fun, nobody feels like they're terribly losing, and then at the very end you reveal who the actual winner is.
Yeah, in the game as well, you can use your cards as much as you would like. So you draw that first hand of 5 or 6 depending on your player count, and you can just play 1 card and be done for the round, and then the next round you save those other 4 cards and you're going to add 2 more to that hand. Whereas you also could stay in the round really long and use all of your cards. Whoever is the last player in the round will become first player the next round, so you can use that as a strategic advantage. But that balance also of the hand management is an important aspect in the game as well.
Right, because if you do spend them all and you only draw up to 2, then you're a lot weaker for that next round. And what you're going to do, sometimes the cards you draw don't even allow you to influence because you may be adding like 3 of the swords and shields when the gladiators are only going to score on the drama icon or whatever.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's a really interesting balance. A lot of different things going on. Artwork seems sharp throughout. Obviously, this is a prototype version of the game, so there may be even more unique art in the final game. But we had a good time with it. If it sounds like something that you would be interested in, definitely check out Gladius on Kickstarter now. And then, as always, thanks so much for liking, following along, and subscribing here at Tantrum House. Almost lost it at the end. Wow. The water flow was just coming out. Waterfall. I can't even say it right now. Blah. We made it. It was good. Really fast.
Okay.
Did you see what Jamie's?
And I'm Sarah Meadows, and today we're looking at Gladius from
Okay. It's on the table. It plays pretty well with 3, 4, or 5 players. Not pretty well. Better than pretty well. I'm teaming up together, which is a lot of cool.